Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to the Fauna Rose YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Megan and I'm the owner of Fauna Rose, and I am making sales, scrunchies, macrame, home decor, a huge bunch of goodies like that, and I vlog the process. But in today's video I'm going to be sort of showing you guys how we created our brand new pegboard, which I am so excited about. Alex absolutely smashed it out of the park. It looks amazing, if I do say so myself. You guys might have a different opinion, but it's the winter season and I've got a lot of markets coming up, a lot of events, and I really wanted a standalone pegboard. I already have a collection of displays for my markets and stuff, and I love them. I think they're great. They're not the most convenient things, if I'm being completely honest, but they're pretty good in my opinion, considering we had a low budget. We wanted to make them as cheap as possible, but we also wanted to make them ourselves, so we compromised on a few elements. So the feet are drilled into them, you can't take them off, a few different things. They are all white and they have a green border, and then the writing on them is done in black vinyl. So I will leave the video somewhere, maybe link down below in the little eye somewhere, where we did actually make those displays. However, I wanted to add to my displays and I wanted a standalone pegboard, because the pegboard I already have, I love it so much, is big enough to go on a table and stand on the table, but it's not tall enough to go on the floor. So I wanted one that could go next to my table at events. So we did quite a little bit of research before we did this, and as we'd made displays before, we kind of had some past knowledge, some past experience, but it is still trial and error. We're not professionals, we're not carpenters, we're not woodworkers, we don't have a workshop, we don't have professional tools. We do have more than someone who doesn't have no tools. We do have a drill, we do have a sander, we do have a saw, so we do have a few basic tools, nothing majorly expensive, and we have a garden, and we did it out in the garden in the freezing cold, and we kept putting it off because it's been horrendously wet here in the UK, constant rain. So we were very lucky that the day we decided to do it, we didn't get any rain, which was great. So first of all, the things that we've used, I will do my best to try and tell you guys. I might forget some things along the way, and there will be some clips popping up here and there of what we did. But we firstly went and bought the wood. I went for a thinner wood this time because my displays that I already have are really thick wood and they are pretty damn heavy. And with this being a standalone board, it was going to be quite tall, so I didn't want it to be super heavy. I am going to be looking at my phone just for reference, but we did go to B&Q, which is sort of a hardware DIY home shop here in the UK if you haven't heard of it, and we picked up 2 pieces of 12mm wood. So this was the thickness that we decided to go for because it was lighter and thinner than my other displays, so it'd be a little bit more easier to carry, but it was also thick enough that it would be sturdy, it would sort of withstand the weight, and I could still put pegs in it. So we went for 2 of those. Can't remember how much they are, so any information I can't remember on this will be on the screen. And the idea was to have the 2 pieces sort of together like this, with a hinge in the middle so it could fold down and make it easier to store. And this time we wanted to do the slottable feet. So one of my favorite boards that I've seen is made by Taylor Rose. She's had one made by a woodworking company, I believe over in Australia, and they have a really long hinge in the middle, and then they also have clasps on the back. There are so many different ways that you can do this, but again, this is just what we thought was going to be the easiest, but also the most sturdy and most professional looking one. So we did pick up something called a continuous hinge. Again, this was from B&Q, wasn't majorly expensive, and it was the perfect length for the boards. I'll put the measurements on the screen of what the boards actually were. So this was 600mm nickel plated. I only bought one of them, obviously. It didn't come with screws, so we had to buy some screws. And then Alex was able to find these really nice, they're not hinges, I don't know what they're called, clasps, locks, things, these things on screen. On Amazon, he bought a pack of 4 because it just worked out a better deal to buy 4. So it's a type of latch, that's the word. So it's metal toggle latches. They're adjustable as well, which is great. And then we bought 2 wooden dowels just so I had enough to make the lengths that I wanted. I think these were 12mm as well. And then we got to making them. So this was quite an easy process. It was more time consuming than anything, but when you've done it in the past and you've already sort of made something similar, they're quite easy to make. So the first thing we did was I drew out the arch. Arches are pretty easy to do. I'm not going to give a little tutorial on how to do that. If you literally type into YouTube how to draw an arch, there are loads of easy ways to do it. However, because we already have my pegboard and then we have 2 arch signs for our makers markets that we run, I just was really lazy and I laid one of them down on top of it and traced over the arch, simple as, ready for it to be cut. And the next thing we did was then map out where we wanted to cut the board. So I know a lot of you might think, why didn't you just stick a board on top of a board? I didn't want them to be that high, and we kind of needed the weight to be this not dispensed. I'm having a lot of brain farts in this video. We needed the weight and the physics of it to be right, so it wasn't too top heavy, it wasn't too bottom heavy, but the weight was sort of not quite centered, but bottom half centered. I have no idea what I'm trying to say. We needed less weight on the top. We didn't want the hinge too much at the top though, because we needed to fold it down more compact. So we just decided where we wanted to measure and roughly where we wanted to cut, because either way we would then have spare wood over for the legs. So it didn't really matter, if that makes sense, but it kind of did. I'm butchering this video, I'm so sorry. And then with the spare bits of wood, Alex very quickly did like a little doodle rough line of what I wanted the legs to look like. I've seen lots of companies make them with this really nice sort of wavy pattern at the bottom, and I think it looks really, really great. However, because we were lifting the board up off the ground and we weren't having it slot all the way down like this so it would touch the floor, we needed that weight to be sort of balanced a bit more. So I chose to do a wave at the front and then an arch at the back, which you'll see. So from the front it looks really cute, but from the back there is a little bit more wood to help keep it stable for stability and things like that. So we then took it outside. We did put out a table. I do not recommend following our health and safety in this video. If you can, wear gloves, be careful, do it on a nice solid surface. We did try to wear protection and things, and we were really careful. And like we said, we've done this before, but just be really careful, especially working with power tools. So Alex cut the pieces up because he's not scared of power tools like I am. I love the idea of using them, but I'm also absolutely terrified of them. So Alex did all the cutting for this, and then we both got to sanding the pieces as well. A jigsaw isn't 100% precise. You're sort of doing it freehand, so it's really good to then go in with a sander. So we managed to get the arch nice and smooth. So I will leave a few clips in here of us doing that. So we had the legs cut out, we had the arch ready and cut out. So the next thing we needed to do was add the hinge. Alex, really smart. I wouldn't have thought to do this, but he drilled pilot holes first. So there we go, the hinge was on like this. So you had one bit of wood here, one bit of wood here, ready for it to fold up and sit on top, and it was already looking pretty good. I was getting really excited. We did have to do a little trip in between to B&Q again because we didn't have the right size screws. Unfortunately, the ones we had bought were a little bit too long and they would have gone through the wood. And then the next thing we wanted to do was add those little, I forgot what they're called already, clasp thingies, and these were really good high quality clasps. They're great, they're really affordable, and they look pretty sleek. They just hook into place. These were really easy to add. Again, Alex just drilled a few little pilot holes and it was looking really, really good. I was so excited to see it stood up, but now we had to do the feet. I don't know what the saying is. It's something along the lines of measure twice and cut once, I think. Don't just go in trigger happy super fast, because you would rather cut off too little and do it bit by bit than cut off too much, because you cannot grow that wood back once it's been cut. So we decided how high we wanted the board to sit, measured where that was going to be with the legs, measured where that was going to be on the board, etc, etc, and then Alex went in cutting, and there we have it. We have the legs. They look so good. I loved the little arch at the front. It just makes them look so cute. But this was kind of the basis of what it was going to look like. I think we did, I say we, Alex did most of the work. I think we did a really, really good job. We then spent a little bit of time deciding where we wanted the pegs to go, how many holes we wanted on each row, how many rows we wanted. If you are going to make one of these, just spend a bit of time doing this. There's no point rushing in, drilling a load of holes and then thinking, oh, it doesn't actually look that great. And again, because we've done this before, we had a rough idea of where we wanted the pegs to be. I wanted 5 across just because that sits my scrunchies perfectly, because that's what I use my pegboards for. You can use this for a range of stuff, but I use them for scrunchies. Alex then went in and drilled each of the holes. A little hack, we learnt this last time. The back of my first pegboard is a bit of a mess. If you drill straight through, it can blow the back of the wood out. So Alex did it bit by bit. So he did the first half of all the holes and then he flipped it over and did the second half. And while Alex was doing this, I then got to cut in the dowels. So I decided roughly what size I wanted them. And then I measured little notches all the way along it. I think I went with 10 centimeters. And then I took the saw and I cut them all out, which did leave the edges a little bit rough. So all we did then was go in and sand them. So we then slotted all the little dowels into the holes, and we did make some spare ones. It's always better to have some more ready to go just in case you lose some or any get damaged. As you will see from the videos and the photos, there is a little space at the top of the arch where I can put my logo, but that is basically it. So if you're in the Lincolnshire area in the UK and you want one making, hit us up. But I think it looks so professional. However, I need your help, guys. All my other displays are painted. They're white with a green border. I will never paint this green border again, ever, because I absolutely butchered it. I can't decide whether or not to leave this sort of raw wood as it is or to paint it white to match my other displays. I don't know. Obviously, if I do paint it white, it is going to match the rest of my displays. However, that is more time and more money. You're going to have to let me know what I should do. Do you think it'll look good just leaving it as it is? Or do you think I should paint it white and then add my logo at the top? Please leave your comments down below and let me know, because I've got events coming up. But that is everything for today's video. I just wanted to show you guys us making this display. I did have quite a lot of questions when I posted about my last one, so hopefully I didn't leave anything out. But if you do have any questions or if I did miss anything out, please let me know. Just leave a comment and I will do my best to answer it. If you want one making, hit us up. But thank you so much for watching today, guys. Please give it a massive thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below and subscribe if you aren't. All my social media and everything, including the website, is linked down below, so feel free to head on over there and check it out. But apart from that, I'll catch you guys in my next one. Bye!